Hello to you, Mr. Bachrach.
Good afternoon, Michael.
So, not to be a spoiler here, but your bill did not succeed. It did not pass second reading. How are you feeling right now?
Well, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a bit disappointed. We've put a lot of work into this, and I think this is an idea that would really make our country stronger. That said, I'm proud of the work that we've done over the past number of months, working alongside Children First Canada and Vote 16 Canada to raise awareness of the benefits of allowing 16 and 17-year-olds to vote in our elections. There are a lot of countries around the world that have made this change, and they've seen those benefits in terms of youth engagement, in terms of voter turnout. And really, the issues that we're talking about in this room right behind me, issues like climate change and housing affordability and others, these are issues that have a huge bearing on the lives of young people. So I have no doubt that this is a change that eventually will come to pass in our country, and it feels good to be on the right side of history.
Okay, let's pick up on a few points there, though, because I think it's fair to say that when one thinks of a 16-year-old, different images come to mind. One is arguably the responsible and the engaged young person. The other is a teenager more engaged in video games or super sweet 16. So is there not a potential risk in giving a person the right to vote at such a young age?
Like I said, there are countries around the world like Austria and Scotland and Wales that have lowered their voting age. And what they saw is that 16 and 17-year-olds are actually more engaged and more informed than 18, 19, and 20-year-olds. So, a lot of the pushback that we've seen around this idea is really based on prejudicial stereotypes of young people that don't necessarily bear out in reality. The reality is that young people, 16 and 17-year-olds, haven't been asked to pay attention to politics or to elections. And if they're given that agency, if they're given that opportunity, they're going to tune in. They're going to look at the issues. But more importantly, political parties are going to talk about the issues that matter to them. Political parties are focused on the issues of voters, obviously, and non-voters, currently, which includes 16 and 17-year-olds, don't make it on their radar. So this is an important change for a whole host of different reasons, but most of all because it makes our democracy stronger. The Charter of Rights and Freedoms says every Canadian citizen shall have the right to vote. And I think that the arguments against allowing 16 and 17-year-olds into the franchise are particularly weak. I think it's time for this change.
Mm-hmm. Well, as I said, this is not the first attempt, and quickly running out of time, but I do want to ask you, this is not the first attempt. This did not succeed past second reading. Do you think this issue will be revived again in future?
Oh, absolutely. And there's a bill in the Senate right now that hopefully will make it to the House. You mentioned it has come to the House before. In 2005, the current government House leader, Mark Holland, brought it as a private member's bill. And just a few moments ago, we saw him rise and vote against this idea of allowing 16 and 17-year-olds to vote. The Liberal government last year consulted youth across Canada, and one of their recommendations to the government was to urgently lower the voting age. And today we saw the Liberal government wasn't even willing to vote to send this bill to committee. So I think they have some explaining to do to all the young people out there.
Well, we continue to watch the issue. Taylor Bachrach, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for your time.